Big news.
What's the big news?
You finally cooked camel.
I didn't know that was the big news. We teased it a little bit last time. But yeah, I finally did it.
Yay.
Yay. Were you shocked that I said I'm going to cook it?
I think we just wore you down.
Everybody has. Like, when I go places now, when you going to cook that camel? When you going to cook that camel? You still got that camel? No, I don't have it anymore. We ate it. And, shocker, camel's pretty dang good. It wasn't. So now you got to understand, Kevin, my buddy from the butcher shop, y'all hear me talk about him all the time on here. He had sent me that camel, and man, it's been some months ago. It had been in the freezer, and
it did not look good in that package.
Well, I mean, it was just, it said camel. That was my,
yeah.
But it didn't. It was, because what it was, when I thawed it out, because it was froze, it was basically like the backstrap of a deer, or kind of like a beef tenderloin, but
like
not as
deer.
It wasn't as big as a beef tenderloin, but it was. Yeah, it was
kind of right in between a beef and a venison tenderloin.
Yeah,
I'd say
that's exactly what it was. It was right in between venison and beef, and
as far as the looks,
it looked. I mean, it was definitely red meat. Didn't have hardly any fat. When I got it out of the package, there wasn't much trimming to it. I didn't have to do a whole lot at all. There was just a little bit of silver skin I think I took off, and that was it. But I didn't know really how to cook it, honestly. I was like, well, it looks like a backstrap or a beef tenderloin. I'm going to kind of give it that treatment. I didn't want to do too much to it because we wanted to taste it, or, I wanted to taste it, see if it was any good. I didn't know if I was going to be able to swallow it or what. But, season it up. Once you get it laid out and you get it seasoned up, you get it ready to go on the grill, it starts, all right, this is going to look okay.
Once you had it trimmed, once you trimmed off that silver skin off, I was like, this looks like a pretty good little piece of meat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was pretty. And I just did it on a pellet grill. I mean, I didn't do anything crazy to it.
So you seasoned it with salt and let it set for like 30 minutes, an hour.
Yeah, just let it start pulling some moisture out of it, working some flavor in it.
And then you came with Gyro Hero and a little chimichurri.
Yep. And
what was your thought process for picking those?
Camels live over in
that area.
Close to the Mediterranean area. Yeah. I figured they were over there in the desert running around. They might throw some of that season. I didn't have a Moroccan season to throw on it or anything. So I was like, Gyro Hero, why not?
Close enough.
It's so a Greek season to me, you think it was a Greek seasoning, is like an AP with herbs and different flavors in it. That's all it is. So that's all it was, really. Of course, it has salt, pepper, and garlic, but it's got it's got some different herbs and different things in it to kind of give it that Greek or Mediterranean flair. And then Al's chimichurri season is just dehydrated herbs. It's got parsley. It's got cilantro. It's got some peppers in it. It's got different kind of things in it too. And I was like, well, that's going to make a good crust on it to go along with the Greek seasoning. It can't be bad. And that was pretty simple. So once I got all that put on there, it went on the pit, and I was just going to cook it medium rare like I would a beef tenderloin. And I cook those like the holidays. That's what our families like to eat. When your family comes to town for Christmas, they want the smoked beef tenderloin. And so I said, well, it's great for deer like that. It's going to be good for beef. It's got to be good for camel too. So we did it. And I took it up. Do you remember how high it got? I don't think it got over 128, 130, did it?
Mm-hmm. I think that was
right in that range.
It was 130, 132 or something like that.
Then I'd let it rest on the cutting board a little bit. And then I tried it. And then slicing it, it sliced beautiful. Knife fell right through it. I was like, man, it's a lot. I was expecting a tougher piece of meat. And I don't know why. Maybe it's because when I think of camels, I think they live in the desert. I think they're going to be dry and stringy,
They look like that.
They look like that. They look like that. But it's not. It was way softer than beef tenderloin. That was if I had to say there was one thing that was really different, was the texture of the meat that was so soft. And I don't know if all camels like that. So the only thing I've got to compare it to is this one piece of meat.
You think it was Wagyu camel?
I don't know. Maybe it was.
Kevin.
Maybe it was. But, and I don't know if leaving it in the freezer I don't think that would have made it softer. And putting the salt on it for 30 minutes, that'll tenderize it a little bit, but not enough to make it that soft. It's not like I did it overnight, like a dry brine overnight in the fridge or something. So I think just the nature of that meat is a softer texture. It's way softer than I anticipated. That being a good thing, really. That was what, when you tried it, you was like, oh, I was thinking, it was going to be a lot tougher.
Well, I was thinking kind of a texture of pork tenderloin.
Yeah, a little bit tighter.
A little bit
tighter, yeah.
The flavor was really good.
I
don't know if I could have told you. I could have told by the texture,
but
not the flavor.
Yeah, that it wasn't beef.
That it wasn't beef.
And it wasn't deer. Because deer, the texture of a backstrap is a lot tighter.
A lot tighter.
Than that camel was. And then so I was kind of thinking, I'm not crazy about lamb. And it's not because I don't like the flavor of lamb. It's because I've had it's too easy to get some bad lamb or lamb that's got that wanginess to it or tanginess that I don't like.
Flavor.
I was thinking camel was going to be like that.
Have its own unique camel flavor.
That's exactly what I thought. Like, this is going to be something.
Tastes a little toady.
Tastes a little, a little rough. But it didn't. It didn't have it at all. Like, blind, you never would have known. It would have been only a texture thing. And everything else was good about it. We ate it. And I would actually cook camel again. I wouldn't be scared to cook it again, to use it. I wonder what ground camel's like. I bet it's pretty good. I don't even know if you would know. Like, if you had some ground camel, like you could tell with it, when you'd have to add some fat to it.
That texture issue. Yeah.
It's not. It'd probably make a pretty good camel burger.
I like the flavor of it. The texture was a little too soft for me. I was like, the texture is not my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
It was a little too soft.
Well, so do you know when you get really, really good lamb chops and they just kind of melt in your mouth off the bone? That was similar to the texture of that camel. It's soft, like really, really young. And maybe, you know what? I wonder if that was a baby camel.
What?
It wouldn't, I don't know how big a camel loin is. But maybe that was a young camel. Maybe that was why it was so soft.
What's Camelville called?
Yeah. I don't know. But it's an expensive piece of meat.
How much was it?
That on the package, it said $124.
And what was the weight of it?
Oh, I didn't. If I had to guess, 3 to 4 pounds.
Yeah.
Probably. It was a typical, wasn't quite as big as a beef tenderloin, but it was, it's comparable size-wise.
Why were you so iffy about cooking it?
Because it's camel. I never ate camel. What? I'm not just I hadn't tried all kinds of crazy stuff. I've tried a little bit, but.
What'd you think about it, Tyler?
I was kind of on board with you. Like, flavor-wise, it blew me away. Like, I didn't expect it to taste as good as it did. And I guess that's bad, but I don't know. I was real iffy because I can be weird about wild game sometimes.
My mood in the video kind of changed as that cook went on.
It went from skeptical.
Very skeptical to not really want to do this, but I'm doing it for the camera, to this looks pretty good. To when I put the knife into it and was feeling how it was cutting, and then you never know when you make the first 2 or 3 slices and then you lay it over. And I was like, well, I nailed the cook because it looks right. And then I was like, well, it feels, man, this knife down the whole thing, because I sliced the whole thing up eventually. It sliced like that all the way down that tenderloin. And I was like, man, this is actually good. It's actually good.
And then, like, texture-wise, I think if it had been on something, like if we had made some smoked camel sandwiches or tacos or something like that, like I wouldn't have ever known.
Probably never known, yeah.
Never would have known. You never would have known. If you would have cut that up and used it in something, you wouldn't have been able to tell it was camel. I need to quit being so judgmental or going in with some kind of preconceived notion about meat, I guess.
Exactly.
You think I would learn, but I'm from Mississippi, man. We ain't used to eat,
It took you forever to try raw tuna.
Yeah, and now I love it. I do. I absolutely love it.